Creative Beers. Yes, good evening. Disco, Rascal and Disco Beer Review with you once again on a Monday night. How are you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. Boy, is it a hot one. I'm sweating just sitting down. So, yeah, a bit of a heavy weekend to be fair. So, I wasn't sure whether I was going to do a Monday one, but then it was so hot today and I had a little look in the fridge. And I thought, well, let's do some fruit beers because I've got a bunch in. So today is Mango Monday. You know, I love a little bit of alliterative juxtaposition on the show. David Wilson, as always, good to see you in. Thank you very much indeed for popping by. Hello to everyone. Let us know what you're drinking, if you've got a beer in the glass, or are you just taking on some regular liquid so as not to dehydrate in this heat. So, talking straight in, the first one I've got here, as you see probably from the thumbnail, is a beer called Sirocco. Strange little beast. Let's get it in a glass and then we'll have a little look at it, to be fair. 2.5% mango summer lager. Don't really understand any of that, to be fair. Especially not least of all the 2.5% bit. That said, I have just bought some 2.5% lager, which I've been meaning to do a video on, and I was struggling today and I never got it sorted. So yeah, been in the fridge all day. Can't really see that too well. Again, as always, the light. I don't know. Let's see if we can find arid desert or something. But yeah, Sirocco from Advex up in Liverpool. Brewery I've not rushed out to very often. Beer number one, please. So, yeah, there we go. Thanks for the reminder, Mr. Wilson. Paul, good evening to you, sir. I don't care get creative juices. Well, funnily enough, this is where I got this little can from. I missed you on Friday, Paul. I know you was out doing other brewery business at a certain beer festival, but a little bit last minute on Friday night I popped up to Creative Juices because there was a bit of food on. It was a lovely evening as always up there in the sunshine, sitting out in the beer garden. Had a couple of beers and I picked this one up along with a few others. I picked up. I don't need any more beer. This is a bash to stash style show, and I'm looking in the fridges there, and I've got a few more cans. This is an odd little one. I don't really understand this, but I thought I went with it anyway. Echoes, O's. Blackberry pomegranate, blackcurrant, plum, and lemon sour. I can see some of those, but not the others. Phantom, and that makes sense, I think. Oh no, didn't put it away from last week. What else have I got? What did it say? Was it? Oh yeah, Dolphin Brewery. That makes sense. They make some fairly mad sours over there in Berkshire. A cherry sour from Jiddler's Tipple. I heard lots of things about. Never actually got round to doing any of theirs, I don't think. Yeah, so I got a couple of theirs, and yeah, of course, I still love you from Creative Juices. Got to pick up Creative Juices beer whilst you're there. Can't always be guest beers. Yeah, so. Popped in there and I saw this one and I thought I don't understand that, so gonna have a yeah. It's kind of, I might put it in the wrong glass. I put it a bit rushed actually. Put it into the Indie Rabble glass that I still haven't drunk an Indie Rabble beer from as such from the previous week, and it's gone flat as a pancake. So I'm wondering if I may have should have put it in a taller, thinner glass. But anyway, let's have a little look. Definitely a bit of fruitiness on the nose. Don't know. Cheers. Let's get some refreshment for a Monday night. Interesting. Old Midnight Hen. I've got one of those. I was going to do it ages ago. Another one I never got around to. So it's definitely on the cards, maybe. What am I not hen? Yeah, it's unusual for the hen series to bring out a stout, but why not? Why not? Yeah, I've heard good things about Phantom. I've heard good things about Dolphin as well. And again, one of the many I need to get round to. Oi, oi, brothers. Thanks for popping in. Cheers, sir. Good evening to you. Happy damn Monday night. Okay, get a new one next week. Mango Pale and a Nipa. Well, I do like mango. It's probably in fruited beers. It's one of my probably favourite fruits. I think I said this last week, didn't I, with the mango and the blueberry beer I had from Turning Point. Oh, I didn't put that one up. Where'd that go? Can't see me blueberry beers. Did I move them? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That was mango, wasn't it? Tangled up in blueberry and mango. So yeah, I like a bit of mango. It gives that kind of fruit content, some big fruity, juicy, refreshing kind of hit. What I'm getting here is a kind of sherbetiness, kind of sort of, yeah, if Sherbet Dabs did a mango flavoured lolly. Good evening, Adam, Mersey Beers. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, Advex up by Merseyside. However, lagers are their weakest area. Yeah, I don't really understand what Advex are doing here or what they're trying to do, because I just know Advex, which is why I haven't got many of their beers. I only got one of their beers in because it had disco in the name, Disco Clouds. That was a big Nipa, I think, and it was okay. It was all right. It wasn't my thing, but yeah, I see them doing big IPAs. So why are they messing about with a 2.5% lager with some mango in it? But I think there is mango in it. It doesn't feel. It feels 2.5%. It is really light. It doesn't feel like. I'm not really getting any kind of like. I'm getting some kind of fresh mango with a little bit of like. A little bit of sorbet, but a little bit of sherbety kind of note going on. So it's not terrible. I just don't really understand why Advex are doing it. Is it an attempt to do something different? Is it an attempt to have a look at a lower alcohol, a lower ABV beer? I'm not sure. Let us know. Let us know. Is there a reasoning behind a brewery like Advex doing a 2.5% lager as well? Nothing particular. Yeah, nothing particular on the information, to be fair. That's a bit weird. Yeah, so no real, it doesn't even say. It says contains barley. It's not even the usual, like, four suspects and any kind of fruit additive. Really strange. But you will be pleased to know, I imagine, I'm guessing, if Paul had it on recently, this will be well in date. Well, it's probably one of the freshest beers I've ever drunk on the channel. Canned on the 30th of July. I picked it up the other day from Paul's place at Creative Juice. You said the best before date is 2025. So possibly one of the biggest, one of the most freshest beers I've ever drunk on the channel. I know you lot all like to go on to me about keeping the beers in the stash, which is why I'm still trying to do these bash the stash style shows and get them knocked out. Probably didn't need to then go and get a whole bunch more beers in the stash. But what can I say? The fridge looked great. The beers looked interesting. So I gave it a go. There's a little bit of sweet, fruity stickiness developing on there as well. There is that kind of not quite watery edge, but like very low, very pale in the malt department. Very kind of not concentrate, very kind of fruit juice edge to it with the wateriness. I get confused when you drink fresh beer. Me too. But it's not, it's not a highly hopped beer. So, you know what I mean? I'm not losing out on it. Yeah, but I saw it in there and I thought I'd try it. And then I realised I had all the other mango beers. Yeah, it looks pale rather than thin. But yeah, amongst all that haze, yes, it does. I mean, it looks. There's some good carbonation on it, though. I'm not sure I put it in the right glass. I mean, it is an ale glass, but I had a Nipah out of it. So, yeah, it looks. I wouldn't say Paul Grimmerface popping in as well. So, yeah, it tastes a little bit. It tastes thin rather than watery. But I guess in the summer, it's a summer lager, so it's like, yeah, it's a thirst quencher. It's a refreshing. Again, it's like fruit juice. I said last 2 or 3 times with the thinner beers or the fruitier beers, it's a bit like Robinson's barley water. Adam would obviously know. Advex keep trying to do lagers and West Coast to not much success. They do well on their New England's pastry sours and imperial stouts. That's what I say. That's why I haven't sort of gone to them too much, because of the high hopped notes of it. The base of the beer is based on their taproom lager, Docker's Umbrella, but essentially lowered the ABV and added the mango. Yes, the mango flavour or mango. They declined to note that on the can, so it might just be a smash of mango something. I thought they had to note that a bit more on there. Never mind, it's going down quick enough in what is essentially a really hot August evening here in London, and no doubt where you guys are as well. So it's okay, it's drinkable, it's not one I'd rave over. So much so I forgot to do the picture, even though David did remind me. And well, yeah. Shall we bother? Let's do it and see if I can find something to say about it in the morning. Let's put it there in the light. Sure, Indie Rabble won't mind a bit like Advex in their glass. It's going to be a very short show if they all go down that quick, eh? Right, there we go. It looks all right in the glass. It looks somewhat less than a big, bulky beer, as we know. It does look a bit thin, but it's going down all right. It's going down okay. There's some football chat in the chat. I'm not talking about football this weekend. There was no football to happen this week. Football season starts next Saturday. Rivington are brilliant. Looking forward to the festival at the end of the month. See, Rivington is one that I've had 3 or 4 from them, and I only got them in because they had a beer with disco in the name, and that really wasn't all that. So I'm sort of, yeah, and I love the fact they got 500ml cans, but I was never too fussed on the Rivington I had. But it doesn't mean I won't give them another go another time. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? As long as it's wet and cold, it's been in the fridge all day. It's got that fruit note. It is easy drinking, and I still prefer it over pretty much any other commercial lager from this country anyway, rather than the Czech or the German stuff. Mr. Wilson, did you go to were you at Indie Rabble and Two Flints over the weekend? Did I see a pit post on that? Did I get that wrong? Or was that? I know he was at the beer festival, wasn't he? Two Flints is a Two Flints cola is a Two Flints beer with Rivington. Rather than the other way around. I lost frozen reason. Yeah. So I see a lot of people had a good time over in London on Friday. I was busy doing other things. In fact, all weekend. Say Friday last minute. Friday evening, dashed the short distance over to Creative Juices in Rickmansworth, where Paul would have been working if he wasn't at the beer festival. Didn't know that. Didn't check. It was also last minute. Had some interesting food, some good. Had a wild boar sausage in a kind of hot dog thing. Really nice, really nice. And a couple of decent beers over there. Didn't have any Creative Juices beers, mainly because I had them all already, but I did pick that one up, that bitter up. Yeah. Well, there's the beers. But yeah, I did have a couple. I'll get around to doing a couple at Paul's place on Friday evening. I do love the photogenic nature of Creative Juices, especially that big mural on the back. Really not easy to get both in focus if you're getting the focus on the beer, but I do love the fact you can put it on the fence. And there's the old beer truck, food truck. I forgot to tag them in actually. But yeah, I had a red IPA, which is something I don't normally, we don't normally see that much. But it's not something I'm normally into. I always find it a little bit sort of rough around the edges, a little bit rye, that kind of thing. But this one, yeah, it was quite smooth balance, a little bit of fruity notes, like good malty kind of background to it. And only in Berkshire as well, the Outhouse Brewery. 5.7% red IPA. Oh, forgot to follow them. I usually follow once I've done a review of something so I can see any other stuff they have coming out. But only a small microbrewer, I believe, out the back of a pub. I don't know if I haven't seen too much of their stuff about, but it does look interesting. And then after that, it kind of got a bit dark, and I took this picture, and then I went back for another pint of this. This was quite good. Obsidian from Magic Dragon Brewing, another brewery in Wales. I knew very little about Wrexham, I think. A slightly dry stout at first. There was definitely some kind of, not quite piney, but some kind of that kind of coconutty sabro dryness going on. But it was nicely drinkable, slightly warming, touch of licorice, and maybe coconut notes from that dryness in and around the coffee and the chocolate. But as it got dark, it was a kind of nice, slightly warming kind of feel to it. So I was quite pleased at that. So much so, I had another one. So yeah, quite a pleasant Friday night over in Rickmansworth. And then Saturday and Sunday was basically up the farm at work, essentially. Paul, cheers. Good for popping in. I wanted to go and check out. I forgot to check out Paul's live earlier. He was making, I think, some really good points about beer reviewing and YouTubing. I know he was talking to Sammy about it earlier, so I'm going to go back and check that later on this evening. Missed a load of comments here, sorry about that. I use LCBF Saturday afternoon. I'm after some beer for my birthday on Wednesday, so I don't know what to order, thinking of putting a Mad Sierra Nevada order in. A lot of people in this chat will tell you that's a really good idea. I'm less enthused about Sierra Nevada, as everybody knows, but yeah, couldn't go wrong, to be fair. If you can get them in overnight, well, why not? I'll just go mad at something like Trembling Madness or something. Oh, Two Tribes going down the pan. I picked up in date 2 different lagers of theirs in my local discount shop for 65 and 75. I don't think so. I've not heard of anything going on particularly, but they are putting stuff out in 330ml cans. They get picked up probably along the discount places fairly easily. You do tend to see them on Beer 52 a fair bit. I mean, for 65 and 75, as long as the beer is still good, you've basically got a bargain. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know wear the T-shirt just because it's got disco on it. But I've never actually been to Two Tribes, but I have had a fair bit of their beer, mostly because they did a couple of disco beers early on in lockdown, and then do different variations of it. So I see them around, but don't know too much about them. Apparently, they've got a really good place up in King's Cross, so I've got to go to at some point. As it goes down, it's a little bit, I'm not sure about that, the back end there, the kind of mouthfeel on it. It's all right, I just don't really know what they're doing with it still, but there you go. 2.5%. I have to keep looking at it, make sure I've got it right, you know. Yeah, it's definitely 2.5%. I mean, why? Just reverse that, make it 5.2 and don't worry about it, you know what I mean? make a proper drinkable lager. You still put mango in it. Yeah, so I'm not really sure about that. Very light on the malt. Overawed a little bit by the mango flavour. A little bit indistinct, but it's there. Doesn't smell the greatest mango wise, but anyway, cheers. Worth a try. Maybe on tap I can see it in the cold weather. People give it a try, especially for the low alcohol nature of it. Get a lot of Advex on Trembling Madness. To be fair, none of the beers today are actually from Trembling Madness. They're all, well, not quite direct, but yeah. So I don't know about that one. It's not left. It's not left me massively refreshed. Just a bit perplexed. So, without further ado, no more messing around. Beer number 2, please. Beer number 2 is one that has been sitting in my stash for a little too long because I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I just haven't had a chance. And doing beer reviews is one of those cans that's going to be nigh on impossible to photograph with a silver can wrap and a little bit of colour on it. Let's get into a glass and have a look, shall we? It's from Abyss Brewing down on the south coast. Again, one I've seen around, but not had too much of. Only got them in because they had a disco beer, which I did on the last one. I haven't put the video out yet, but I did it on Instagram. Nice and bubbly into the glass. A very similar colour actually to the Advex one, but going to be, I think, a very different beer. It's a peach and mango sour at 4.5%. Like chill haze in that, I haven't bunged it in there. Didn't even bother with a head on that one. Basically, completely missed it. But yeah, nice kind of peachy, mango-y colour going on. Fair play. So be more. Yeah, there you go. Came out of a box of German and Belgian beers. Lakes or Rivington. Lakes a good shout. I've got a couple of them to review as well. It's not burning on Jen, so you're fine. Yeah, there's plenty on there. Got the ticker. Let's do the photo before I forget. Again, it's not, like I say, it's going to be a difficult one with the photograph on that. Acres of the beer. Kind of died a bit already, but it should be okay. That can is gonna, I don't know, it's getting there. It's not too bad. Just to be picky, maybe. I mean, I like the name, Brave. Oh, it's not gone well. Really not gone well. Never mind. Let's not delay proceedings. Put it over there. I have to have another look on Instagram. I can't remember when I got these in. I think it might have been. It was either earlier on in the year or back end of last, anyway. Not much fruitiness on the nose. Again, that might, because I've left it in, there's a little bit kind of vegetableness you get sometimes on sours. Anyway, let's get it down. Cheers. Still looks proper fruity and juicy. Ooh. Wow. That is a sharp sour. Yeah, he's still around. He's not necessarily doing anything on the channel at the moment. He's got other stuff to do. I saw him Ealing Beer Festival last month. Bought him a beer. Had a wee chat as brief as we could because it was right at the end of the evening. But yeah, as far as I know, he's all right. Escobar, greetings. Thanks for popping in to say hello. Good stuff. Good stuff. It looks lovely, but then you said it's a sour. Yeah, I'm still. I try all these sours, like, because I should. or because they got disco in the name or whatever. And I find some better than the others. I still find them drinkable enough. But I don't like that kind of hoppy kind of IPA that I think is too out there, too bitter. I don't like sours either because it just doesn't sit on my palate. That kind of out and out sourness. It's not an off flavor, but it just doesn't work on my palate. It's meant to be like that to like denote it's not quite right. I saw an interesting thing the other day. A little bit about psychology about people who like sours and extra hoppy beers. It's like some kind of psychological thing making up for like trying to be like really out there and like really like hyper trendy or whatever. So I'm never, yeah. I like the adjunctive stuff, so that's where I go. The heavily adjuncted stuff is fine. A lot of people won't really like that, but I don't really go for out and out massive sours that much. There's a good fruit note to it, and again, this big sherbety kind of sparkliness off the carbonation. So it's good. There's a big sour fruit note to it there. It wants to go toward pineapple for me, and I know it's not. It's peach and mango. So it's really difficult to read, mainly because my eyesight's terrible. Which is why I got the magnifying glass out, and it's still struggling. Yeah, it just says peach and mango. Can't see it mentioning hops, probably because there aren't any, because it's all the fruit note. Yeah, so Abyss down in Lewis in East Sussex, massive beer town, plenty of breweries. Escobar, cheers, mate. Thanks for popping in, sir. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Have a good week. Hope you had a good weekend. So yeah, I'm getting that kind of sherbiness on the mouth puckeriness, and it's one I'll finish, I'll get through, but it's the sort of thing I'd struggle. It's the sort of thing I'd leave until it is out of date, and then like shandy it or cocktail it. It's the sort of thing I'll do a sour cocktail. Usually amaretto, a bit of lemonade, and it covers up a whole heap of eventualities. I can't see the date on it. I'm sure you want to know if I'm drinking in date beer again. There you go, Dave Wilson. All right, I'm back to best before of February 2024. So yes, I did buy it before Christmas, and it's sat there in the stash. Never got round to it. It's perfectly okay. I mean, it's off anyway because it's been soured, but it's not off because it's 6 months later. It's a yeah, it's got a big sour note still, nothing off about it. I can get like that, like some kind of gerbil. But yeah, no, also on the disco arms, back to out of date beer, all nominal. Let's have a quick look at Advex. There we go. Oh, that's Advex. I meant to go Abyss, but let's have a look at them whilst we're here. See what else they got. Yeah. Why have Advex got nothing in their shop? Are they okay? What's going on? Advex have no cans in their shop. Yeah. Or is that a website error? I don't know. Oh well, we won't bother looking at Advex then because they've got nothing to show us. Let's have a look instead, as I meant to, at Abyss. Plenty of cans on the Abyss web shop. All these some fairly funky can wraps. Liking the look of that. As a Hellers, a couple of IPAs, a double IPA there. Oh, hang on, there's Rave. Oh, no, right. So Rave, it looks like a rotating sour. Slightly different colours for that one. A apricot and Waimea sour. I like apricot. I especially like when breweries don't do apricot sours because I do like an apricot pale. They are very, very rare. But I do like them. Some more IPAs and pales. Dank Marvin, what a great name for a beer. That was one of the ones I got last year with this. Only a small order. They didn't have much on the web shop then, but yeah, I think that's a great name, Dank Marvin. I don't think it was that dank from memory. I'm sure I did that on Instagram as well. Tropical Thunder IPA. Some more IPAs there. Oh, it came from God Stout. That's up there somewhere. There it is. Yep, I had that one as well. Decent chocolatey coffee kind of stout. Yeah, there we go. See the prices there too. Let's see that. So yeah, what do we think about Abyss? No, I don't see them get reviewed too often, and they don't sort of get up this way very often. But I like what I see on the web shop. Yeah, with Advex, yeah, probably so. Never mind. Probably wasn't going to buy any anyway because they are heavily on the IPAs and dippers and stuff. And that lager show, and I wasn't going to buy any more of that. But good evening, Henry. Thanks for popping in. Cheers, sir. Have you got a beer in the glass? Let us know what you're drinking. It's good stuff. Standard seller. It's a Monday, isn't it? What can you do? So I just had 2.5% lager. You see that I don't know so much. I don't entirely agree. It's a fair point, Paul. But yeah, I say I had a stout on Friday night, like as the sun was going down, so it was getting a bit cooler. So yeah, summer's evenings finish on a stout, especially if I had smashed a few pails. Like I said last week on the show, I did the 2 paler mango beers, blueberry beers, and then the blueberry stout. Really nice finish. Don't really see a mango stout. Blueberry stouts are rare enough, but yeah, I'm not too sure about tropical stouts. That's one hill I will stand on. You don't need a tropical stout. Like you don't need heavily fruited stouts. The darker berries, blackberry and blueberry, I'm fine with, but you don't need no tropicalness in your stout, I don't think, because stouts I want to get the chocolate and the coffee. I don't want a fruity coffee. But then as well, my palate is a bit weird. It's a bit weird. But there you go. I kind of like that. It is kind of challenging. It isn't mouth-puckeringly sour, but it is really, really tart, and it has got that kind of that sherbety kind of tartness. Yeah, there we go. Glad somebody agrees with me. It's like, yeah, darker berries, darker fruit in stouts, plums, obviously, as well. Plums, blackberries, not so much blackcurrants because I find them a bit acidic kind of tart. But yeah, this one's going to struggle with me a little bit. But it's drinkable. I'm going back for it. I wouldn't say it was quite as refreshing because it's a bit challenging on the palate. So yeah, that was my weekend. Oh yeah, mostly at the brewery on the bar. Yeah, I was running the bar Saturday. On Sunday, popped up to the brewery. Ran my first quiz. I just did a pub quiz. Got a bunch of questions together, knocked them out, and I played a few tunes. And I know pub quizzes kind of like they were a big thing here on YouTube, like 4 years ago. Up to last year, I was still doing a pub quiz on Zoom with a bunch of people disparate about the country. But I don't think anybody does them anymore. They sort of got a bit like, I don't know, does anybody love a quiz anymore? I was quite pleased. Managed to get a few laughs. I had some silly questions, and they was all quite happy. But yeah, so that was my weekend. Oh, sure, but yeah, that's exactly, yeah. Yeah, sherbet. Yeah, sherbet dib dab. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but they don't do a mango sherbet dib dab. Oh yeah, absolutely, fair play. I love darker beers in winter months as well, as well as any time. But there you go. Mars and beers October. I've seen Oktoberfest beers out already. It feels like Christmas. Oktoberfest beers are getting earlier and earlier and earlier. Starting to see them in like mid-August, and I'm sure, I'm sure we was talking about them the other week, and I saw them on. I saw them some Oktoberfest beers on Beers of Europe. Simo was talking about them the other week. Yeah, like Christmas, they seem to be getting a little bit earlier and earlier. I don't really think they should be even. I mean, they should be thinking about them and making them at this time, right? But yeah, they seem to like. Well, they were meant to be made like earlier in the year, weren't they? But yeah, I don't really want to see Oktoberfest beers until at least the 1st of September. Um, but there you go, they're out. I didn't bother last year. I done them the year before, and didn't get all of the Oktoberfest beers. But then I like to do them all year round anywhere as well. Like you'll find it. But yeah, I will maybe make an attempt at some Oktoberfest beers next month. I've been trying to get my brew a few, but that's too much, I think. The Lidl Oktoberfest. Oh, it wasn't bad last year. I was going to say they're out in Lidl already. Hopefully, they do something similar. Yeah, I haven't been shopping for beers in Lidl for the entirety of this year. Just because I'm trying not to buy so much, especially from supermarkets, and there's a load of other stuff about. Yeah, I should have gone back and found some of Henry's music for this one for Rave. Be good to play some copyright-free music. If you need copyright-free music for your videos, all you creators out there, go check out Henry 420. He has some available for your copyright-free music needs. That's just me trying to pay back a little bit because cheers, Henry, always popping on and asking people to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, do all that jazz, blah, blah, blah. You know the score. I always feel weird about asking people that or telling people that. Don't tell, ask. But they all know that already. So I just kind of like appreciate that Henry does it for me, to be fair. I'm tempting to neck that because it's not too astringent that you can't give it a big gulp, give it a big slurp. And I'm kind of keen to get onto the third one again. A bit of a story behind that. See if I can see. Bear with me a second. Oh no, it won't be too far down, won't it? Too far down. Oh, excuse me. I'm trying to do two things at once. That's not going to work. I'm glad I didn't share that. I need a little fill-in. I need a little in video fill-in video that I didn't do. That's not going to work. Yeah, man, no problem, Henry. Thanks very much indeed for your help and assistance this year. It's all good. Right, I'm going to neck this. I'm going to get on to the next one. And hoi hoi! A Nerd in Motion, thanks for popping in. Good to see you, sir. Hope the driving's going all right. I haven't really seen any videos this week. I've just been too damn busy to get on. Like I was watching some of your lunchtime lives from the cab of the van, cab of the lorry. So good. Yeah, cheers, John. Thanks for popping in. I'm going to get this peach and mango sour at 4.5%. I'm going to get it. Going to get it necked. I'm not enjoying it. It's kind of okay, but it's a little bit too Too sour for me, but it's still drinkable, and I'm going back and finding fruit notes each time. So it's all right. Down the hatch. There you go. Oh, there's that. Yeah. It's like putting a whole bag of sherbet dib dab in your mouth at once, that. And then suck in on the mango. So here we go, here we go. Eyes down, looking in. Beer number 3, please. And beer number 3 is yet another beer from a regular favourite, as you've probably seen. Financial Junk should come in for this one. We're back at Turning Point because I've ordered rather a lot of Turning Point beers this year. I'm not ashamed to say that. I've got some good stuff, to be fair. And this one is one I really, really enjoyed a few years back. In fact, when I was chatting to Cameron at Turning Point the other year, I was pushing heavily for him to bring this one back. It was a Beer of the Year contender, I think as far back as 2021. I think they've changed it slightly because I happen to notice. So I'm just waiting for the glug on that. There's a good old glug on that. It feels much thicker than the 2 previous beers I've been putting into glasses. Still much the same colour, I guess, because of the mango content. Apparently, there was an absolute shed load of mango went into this beer, or the original one. It's called Sunshine Indoors. And look at that label there. 6% mango and saffron Lassi pale. Now, when they first brought it out, when I first had it, they had the word donut in there as well. So I don't know whether they've taken some of the pastry notes out, whether... Oh, excuse me. I've been necking. I've been going quick today. Probably because the first one was only 2.5%. But yeah. So, lovely colour in the glass. That lovely mango colour. And the first one tonight with a head sticking around, which is always good. See what we can smell. Oh. Is there such thing as mango meringue pie? You know, you have lemon meringue pie. It's like a much more mango version of that. There's a bit of creaminess in there. Probably a bunch of lactose in it to get that lassi kind of note. I'm not quite sure why they've gone lassi. It's an Indian yogurt drink or an Indian drink, lassi. Can't smell the saffron. I said last time, I think, on the original one, I couldn't even taste the saffron because I know what saffron tastes like. I guess it's like bouncing across the fruit, the sweet fruitiness of the mango, and the saffron is a bit more of a savoury kind of thing going on. The head is dissipating a bit. Let's get into before it goes down too much. Cheers. Oh dear. Okay, let me do the picture. Ooh. Let me do the picture. This is the trouble with doing stuff live. When the outcome doesn't meet the expectation, it can be a little disheartening and a little disenfranchising. I love the colours on that. The new camera, not a major fan of when breweries just kind of revamp their branding for no apparent reason, and I'm not massively fan of Turning Points. That's the old branding, but they've kind of redefined it a little bit. It's not terrible and it's still pretty good. They have kind of dulled down the artwork a little bit as well. That one's just a big sun. So, yeah, it's not as thick and gloopy as I remember it. Again, it's fairly new, definitely this year. Came out early summer. There's a really nice creamy mango flavour to it, but I don't know if they've dialed up the saffron on this one, because there's a sort of odd, complex kind of savoury note to it, and I don't know if I like it, and it's not what I remember it. It's kind of, I often say don't go back, but when a beer was good, and I remember it being really, really good, it's going to take me so long to find this one, so I'm going to waffle a little bit until I go back, because Instagram won't let you search for stuff properly and won't put, I will have hashtagged it, but it won't just put all your hashtags in chronological order, because there won't be that many people using the hashtag sunshine indoors, so it's kind of pointless doing it. But yeah, so I can't even do that, can I? Yeah, so there's this kind of, it's not quite savoury, but it's also not quite, it's a bit kind of, there's a sort of hop note to it when you get that kind of earthy hop note, and there's a kind of earthy note to it, which I think is a saffron. It's not as creamy as I remember. There was always a kind of savoury background note to it from what I remember from the first one. Which is why I was really keen to go back for it, because I really, really enjoyed it in, I think it was 2021. I'm just scrolling back through the Instagram now. See how far back we get. I can't even remember when it was. It was either 2020 or 2021. I kind of really enjoyed it then, which is why I was so eager to go and get it again. This settling, it does look a bit flat. I mean, it's not carbonated. I don't think it was going to be mainly. I'll go have a look on the ingredients. I'm sure there's like lactose in it to give it that kind of lassi note. It's yeah, I think they've changed it. I think they've changed, because when it originally came out, they had the word donut in it, so there was a bit more. There was that I think provided that thick, loopier, more pastry kind of. Can you have a pastry pale? So yeah, I'm not. When you had it last time, what did you drink before it? That's an interesting point. I think I had about half a dozen of them. So yeah, let's keep scrolling down the Instagram. It's different when you do a stream like this. You have 3 back to back, and John makes a good point there. It's like you have to kind of be aware of what you're having around it. I mean, I've got 3 mango beers here, so I don't think the mango. I mean, the mango's been present on all of those, not necessarily strong. It's definitely a mango note there, but like I say, that must be saffron. It's that kind of slightly vegetal. I'm going to scroll all the way back and not find it, aren't I? See what I said about it last time. I'm kind of, I should have set this up if I'd thought about it. Did do this in a bit of a rush today. I can't even remember when it was. So I'm back at Christmas, so it must be before that. Oh, there's all the disco beers from that Christmas. It's funny when you scroll back into like a time from when you was so recent, but I don't really remember it. Getting all these reminders. Can anybody remember 2020? They're fun times, weren't they? Really were. Has anybody actually tasted saffron? I mean, apart from in stuff, because it's like saffron's like, isn't that the most expensive spice or something, like per gram or whatever? So no, I don't really eat saffron. I certainly don't go and buy it and put it in cooking and stuff. So I don't really know what saffron tastes like. It's a spice, so I guess it's slightly spicy. I don't know. I wish. Oh, hang on. There's a mango beer. What's that? Oh no, that was mango or Mariana. Some weird beard. I wish I was better at filling in and doing 2 things at once. Come on, it's got to be there somewhere. God, I've reviewed a lot of beers. All right, so that's where I'm down to. That's where I'm down to. All right, 6th of August 2020 must be before that. Golden Groot. Brewed that again last week, actually. So that's another interesting, weird beer to do. Oh, there's all the first. There's all the original 2020 disco beers. The disco collection. I'm hoping it was summer 2020 then in that case. Otherwise, I've already scrolled past it and completely missed it. And that's a terrible piece of YouTubing, really. Oh, no, I thought that was it. There's an apricot beer I was referring to earlier. Apricot pale. Trouble is, I'm a stubborn old bugger. So now, there we go. Aha, I'm stubborn old bugger, so I'm going to keep looking at it. Wow, 27 likes. There we go. What a superb beer. Sunshine Indoors. Mango Saffron Lassi Donut Ale from Turning Point. Every bit as good as it sounds and looks to me. And I think, I mean, there's some dodgy lighting there. I think I did a couple of different photos of that. But yeah, even outdoors, it looks thicker, looks more lush compared to that one. And that kind of, it's still quite a bubbly head that maybe didn't stick around. I don't know. It starts, what I seem to have said was, every bit as good as it sounds, absolutely nailed it. It starts with pronounced mango, obviously aroma, alongside thick cream, a mild spice, and vanilla pod. Now that's odd because I don't normally note vanilla. I just note sweetness. All jostling for attention and none overbearing. Anticipation builds looking at the fruity orange colour and creamy head in the glass, which looks as good as the sunshine indoors as it does outside. A tongue twister. Obviously, mango flavour is prevalent but not overbearing, leading to a smorgasbord of taste experience. Did I really say that? I used the word smorgasbord in in a beer review. Don't see that very often, but there we go. Smorgasbord of taste experience. The oats and lactose give a creamy, smooth, slight pastry feel. So I've obviously looked at the ingredients. I'll come on to that in a minute. The sweetness balanced by a slight savoury, mild spice edge, which I guess is a saffron, although I've never known any tasted saffron individually before. There's a slight burr, which see, that's what I'm getting. There's that kind of slight kind of savoury spice burr that doesn't quite work as well in this one. Which heads dangerously close to my preferred hop flavour boundaries. So I'm getting that hop note, but I don't think it is a hop note, without ever transgressing them. Pulled back and balanced by all the other flavours. Oh, here we go. I paired this beer with leftover tikka masala for lunch, which combined very well. A 6% perhaps too much for a Monday lunchtime pint, but not for me. So I had this in the afternoon. You probably see by the sunshine there, but this didn't affect my enjoyment of a juicy, refreshing banger of a beer. My only complaint is against myself that I quaffed it far too quickly and perhaps should have ordered more. I probably will do if there's any left. As you can tell, I really enjoyed this beer and found so much to say about it, hence the elongated beer waffle about it. Fair play. Turning Point. I really enjoyed reading that. Glad you enjoyed it. Still plenty left. Well, there we go. So that was the 18th of May, 2020. And fast forward 4 and a bit years, and thanks everybody for chatting away in the comments whilst I'm indulging myself in some fruity beer recollections from back in the day. I do like the fruity beers, to be fair, Paul. Yeah, I don't mind a lot of people say about adjuncts and like fruit in beers. I like giving them a go, and if they work, I go back for them. I don't feel I've been ripped off because it's Turning Point, but I don't feel that it's quite the same beer as it was back then. There's less on the pastry note. I think maybe if they've taken the oats out of it, perhaps. Let's have a look, shall we? See if we can see out on the notes with a magnifying glass. Seeing what I've got, seeing what I'm dealing with So what they say about it is this fruity little amuse-bouche. I'm using smorgasbord and they're using amuse-bouche. Not sure that's allowed, but whatever. I will allow it. This fruity little amuse-bouche is the perfect summer sorbet you didn't know you needed. So I'm not getting sorbet. I've said sorbet in a few other beer reviews recently. I'm not quite getting sorbet. Complex, spicy, and refreshing. Ingredients: water, barley, wheat, oats. There's still oats in it. Lactose, mango, saffron, vanilla, hops, and yeast. Wow. Best before. Brace yourself, Mr. Wilson. 5th of the 3rd, 2025. So yeah, another in-date beer. Shock horror. It's an odd one, that. It's not the same beer as I remember it. It's not as good as it was. It's got a slightly odd back end. I'm not sure about. I think it's the saffron. That taking the donut out for me hasn't helped. Mangoes in a bar, which is unusual because they normally sell pot scratchers. And everyone's fainting because I'm doing another in-date beer. That's a good point. Cheers, John. Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you in. And let us know if you're having a beer. What you're beering on. So, 3 all very, very different mango beers on Mango Monday on the Monday Club. Thanks to everybody for popping into the Monday Club, by the way. Having a beer on a Monday if you are, and listening to me waffle on about beers, and probably losing you whilst I search for that overly waffly beer review from 4 years ago. But these things amuse me. That's why I do it. I go back to things and see what I said and see what differences I get. I don't feel disappointed, but it's a bit like I was about to say which is my beer of the night, and I thought it would be this, and it's kind of not. It looks much more orangey there on there. It's much brighter on there. Yeah, so not necessarily the best lineup that I had. I think I preferred the blueberries last week. Cheers, John. Yes, mate. Yeah, get to bed, get some happy trucking. You beautiful trucker, you. Yeah, enjoy, all the best. Yeah, so not my best. Do you know what? I've done it again. I've got all that expectation of mango beers because I said I like mango in a beer, and I've got 3 that weren't bad. To be fair, let me be real. They're not bad. Just weren't as great as I was expecting them to be. Maybe I highlighted them too much, perhaps. I'm getting on the aroma that vanilla kind of donut sweetness is much more there down the end. And it's got to be good because I'm getting a slightly blocked up nose. Maybe, I don't know. I've got a couple of other cans because I did go a bit mad and bought 6 of them because I thought they'd be great. So I've got a few other cans, 5 other cans to go. So I will try it again. They just sat really nicely in this little lineup. So, yeah. Don't know. Well, I've hit an hour tonight. I think the first one being 2.5% has kind of helped that. So that's my mango lineup. Let us know what you reckon. Are you happy then? Would you go out and buy them? I think 2 of them you probably still can. I'll be really interested in trying the apricot version of the Rave, even though it might be too sour for me. But there you go. Do let me know in the comments if you're still watching. And if you're watching after the event and you're still watching, thank you very much indeed. Cheers for catching up on a Monday night beer session with me, Disco, of Rasco and Disco Beer Review. You guys have been awesome and ace as always. If you haven't already, please click like, subscribe, and whatever you do and whatever they contain, cheers and enjoy the beers. Not sure what I'm doing the rest of the week, live wise, but maybe see you for a beer later on in the week. Either way, have a good beer, yo. Cheers.